Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The sun has arrived here at Blizzard headquarters. There is the giant, awesome statue that constitutes the centerpiece of the Blizzard courtyard. We, however, are fortunately shielded from the sun. We are indoors, and that video was so funny.
Sean was laughing the entire time. I think he has a new best friend there. Quite enjoyed that one.
Oh my god. I love the moment when all of a sudden the units came up and the natural expansion exploded and he's like, oh, that's bad. Just a nice casual laugh. Like he's watching a mildly amusing cat video on YouTube.
I mean, that was mildly amusing and highly hilarious. I gotta say, I did not expect the force fields. Usually when I play against an AI, they just like throw them randomly. Like at one point, it force fielded the larva, which is like a next level strategy. But actually force fielding the ramp and also missing the force field on the ramp. So that computer is just as bad as I am.
Dude, that's an amazing AI. It's like, okay, now what is someone who's really anxious playing ladder do when they need a force field? They force field close, but not quite at where you need a force field.
Right.
It's like off a little bit. I like that she called Zerglings puppies.
Very accurate.
Now, I will say the medium AI is basically impossible for someone who's never played the game before.
I was going to say, I was watching that, and I'm like, they have Immortals already.
Oh,
and this person has never played the game before. So, but hey, it's for our entertainment, so more power to me.
Once upon a time, in Brood War,
I love stories.
One of my favorite things in the universe, other than, like playing on competitive ladders and like trying to level myself up for like World Cyber Games tournaments and that sort of thing.
And like doing really well.
And, I mean, like being like all good at like being Zerg and whatnot, was playing 2v2v2v2s on infinite money maps, which has got to be the greatest experience ever. Like, I don't care. I could have won the world championship, and it would be half as fun as every 2v2v2v2 I've ever played with my friend Dane.
And I gotta say that my favorite part is when people smack talk on those maps. It just makes it so much better, because it's like you're playing a map that is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That it just makes it hilarious. So,
yeah,
I've been guilty of that.
I mean, honestly, if you trash talk in a 2v2v2v2 on Big Game Hunters Infinite Money
with
maps,
$1 million signs and Z's in the name.
Oh yeah, like Ice Map by Girl Guild and all that stuff. Like that's like going to like a children's playground and then playing Foursquare hard.
Yeah.
Like trying and being like, these 8-years are the worst Foursquare players I've
or
ever
like
seen.
a tetherball where the kid is like this tall and you're just swinging
you
it around the
spike
top.
it as many times as you can. It's, man, I'm not that tall, so you should have gone through puberty if you wanted to compete. That's what it's like trash talking on the Infinite Money Map thing. So I loved playing on those, because the best part about a 2v2v2v2 is that if you die, sometimes they don't finish you off, and you can actually rebuild, and no one messes with you.
And it takes like 12 seconds to rebuild because you have unlimited money.
Yes. And so, of course, if things are going wrong, there's two tools that you can use. One is to hide buildings, which I'm really thrilled that we got the chance to see.
Yeah, and he talked about it a little bit, too, if you're Terran.
Yeah, that he would lift and he would float and be obnoxious. But instead of hiding the hatchery, and he's like, and that was like the right place to troll the base, is the bottom right.
Yeah.
But the second tool is also to pause. Because you're in the middle of an intense game and you're dying and you pause, oftentimes your opponents will like type a question mark. And it's like that scene in Jurassic Park where the Tyrannosaurus Rex is like standing over the cars and he's like, don't move, it can't see you. That's what I do. I pause and I'm like, shh, 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 shh. And then they unpause it and I pause it again. You get 3 pauses. And it's a 2v2v2v2. Dane has 3 pauses too, man. We got 6 pauses out of this.
And also, I just thought about it. If they would have paused versus the AI, they would have never lost.
It actually would have been a draw.
Yeah. And you have to wait it out, see if the computer rage quits.
I really think that that's an upcoming meme where it's like Unplugged's modem to disconnect versus AI doesn't disconnect because it's all running on his local computer. Bad luck, Brian.
It's true. Have you ever unplugged your internet? to not get the loss? Because
Yes.
back in Brood War, didn't they do ties? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
If
yeah. You had
disconnected?
win, loss, and tie on your account.
I definitely did that.
Yeah, I did. I'm ashamed.
This cast is so relieving. I can just get it all out there.
This is like
everyone knows my dirty laundry.
Like when I'm done, like it's gonna be like intervention where there's like tears streaming down my face. And it's like, I love y'all so much. It feels so good. But yeah, and it was weird because in when Wings of Liberty came out, the ladder was like central and core to the entire experience. When you hit fine match, it was on the ladder. In Brood War, almost no one played on the ladder.
Right.
People just played normal 1v1 games. I completely lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Like how you're good at StarCraft, and then we talked about money maps, and you troll people with pauses.
Certainly wasn't going to be about anything about skill in the game. Oh, that's right. Yeah, in fact, that's specifically what I'm talking about is lack of skill. Because when I was young, I was obsessed with whatever my score was, like my win-loss ratio. And if it got bad, I would create a new account.
Oh yeah, me too.
And so I had like Sean tilde P and Sean dash P and Sean period P. I just kept remaking them, and I would actually brag at school. I have this memory of me in 8th grade, and it's weird because I'm 26. How old are you? You're
25?
25, something like that?
After like 24, who keeps track?
Yeah, you've been alive like for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I think back to who I was in 8th grade, I don't actually feel like I'm having memories of young Sean. I feel like I've tapped into the thoughts of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking those things, and I was like, "What? How did I ever get to that point?" Because I remember sitting next to this guy named Brett and being like, "Oh, you play StarCraft? I have an account. It's like Sean tilde P. I'm like 13-2 on that, and I have Sean dot P, and I'm like 13-0 on that." And I listed off like 9 of these because I made like a new one every other day.
And if you like add them together,
and if you add them together, I have like over 100 wins.
That's true. I had an account with I had like 300 wins. I don't even want to know what the losses was though, because that game is hard when you're like in the single digits of age. So very hard. Now, Sean, that you liked that video so much, do we have anything else that may or may be similar?
Listen, I want to talk about disconnecting a little more.
Yes.
Look, okay, so on all those accounts that I was talking about, where I had all my win-loss records, it was always like 13-2 and 16. Like I was like a prolific plug puller.
And there was those accounts where they would leave the game whether they won or lost. Did you ever see those? So they were like 0 and like 350.
Dude.
And I would troll them by leaving the game.
By leaving the game first, you like start and give them a win, and they'd be like, no, and they would remake their account.
Yeah. It's like reverse.
Take that. And it was always cool because in Brood War, because no one really played on the ladder, it was not your goal to be like Grandmaster or to brag about your rank. It was just to have the most number of games on there.
That's true.
So all the Korean players would be like 4,000 and 1,520. You'd be like, oh my god, he plays so much. And amazingly, a lot of those people played in the 2v2v2v2s and were bad.
That's true.
This guy's played more than Boxer, man.
You know, they think they're good at 1v1, but they step into the real man's arena. Money map fast as XX.
They step in the arena where blood is spilled and mercy is never given.
And one Psystorm can kill all their probes because they're all stacked on top of each other.
That big. Oh, dude, like one Reaver Scarab would get like 255 kills. It didn't even go up to 256.
And you get shuttle speed. You drop everyone on the entire map, and they're trying to type like, "Watch out, the Reavers!" Oh God.
And you know the funniest part of all is that it never occurred to me that what I was doing by unplugging was wrong. I was like, well, I should have won that game, so we're not going to mark that on the record. And people would always be like, hey, do you disconnect? And it took me over a year to understand that they weren't asking me if I owned a disc of StarCraft.
It's kind of like the TIL. Like, I didn't know what that was until I was like 23. And then it's like, oh, that makes... Or like... In this thread, what is that one?
I guess ITT. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, that's the one. There's so much to learn about the internet.
There's a lot of acronyms that are difficult to
process.
process.
One last thing. that I
Yes.
want to say is when I was a kid, I didn't understand how like connecting computers together worked. So I would run telephone cords between them, and that doesn't work. Just
I mean, you would just like touch the phone cords
no,
to the
I mean
computers?
because
Would
back
like,
then
plug
you
it
had
in?
the old modems with the telephone cord, and I would try to just plug them into each other. It didn't work. So if you're like 8 trying that, you got to get a new computer. So
with that tangent having concluded, because I finally got it all off my
That was-
chest that I was disconnecting POS. Can't say that
I
on
will
air,
say
but
our
I was.
computer was also in a desk with the door closed. So I had to crawl under the desk, reach around.
You had one of those, like, right now, like, my computer's just, like, there. I don't even, like, put the case
Yeah.
back on. It's just, like, still dangling. Like, the fan just blows straight to the ground. And it has, like, huge neon lights. But back then, you had, like, a cabinet that you'd, like, and would, like
Yep.
open. And then the CD would come out, and you'd put the CD in, you'd close, you'd shut it again. I don't even use my CD drive.
I was gonna say I haven't had a computer with a CD-ROM in like forever. One of my laptops. God, that was one of my several laptops doesn't even have a CD-ROM. So we're a dying breed, Sean.
Dude, it's so weird. Like, I opened it up recently the other day, and there was just, like, a CD to install drivers for a printer. I don't even own a printer. I don't know how long ago that was in there.
No memory of that.
I
So
mean,
what?
who uses printers anyways? Analog technology, am I right?
That's true.
PDF's a sweet format.
And then I have to go to Kinko's because I never bought a printer. But what's next, Sean?
Because we love the coaching videos so much, we have another one. So let's hop right into this, where a wonderful man got his friend, or actually his brother,
I think it's wife.
his grandmaster brother is teaching his wife
Oh,
to try to beat a medium AI.
He's gonna be so mad.